After skinning the whale, they're boiling the skin because the skin has most of the fat. They're skinning this gigantic animal just to get some fat out. We're gonna watch this video, which is a very good description of why whaling is horrible, and Norway and Japan needs to make it illegal ASAP.
There she blows! Over there!
The scream cuts through the salty air as your ship transforms into a war machine. 3 fragile boats are lowered into the waves, each packed with 6 men. You're on a hunt, and your sweaty hands clench the harpoon.
The craziest part about whaling, you'll see it now. Look how they kill the whales are insane. The way they actually kill the whales is they poke it, they throw harpoons into the whale, and they just let it bleed out for like 8 hours. Like it's insane. It's so disgusting. Like they all throw their harpoons into the whale and it just bleeds and tries to run in a panic for like 12 hours. They like finally like slowly dies. And these old ships, they can't even pull the whale on board. They can't. So they wait for it to dive. It's dead. Then they like drive their ship next to it and like cut it up while it's floating in the ocean. Because they can't. There's no other way. They just cut it up in the ocean.
Almost
like
shadow bursts through
so
the waves.
barbaric. It's so
rises
barbaric.
above you and comes crashing down towards the boat. But you're not hunting for food. You're risking your life for a liquid treasure worth 200,000.
The reason, I'll tell you guys right now, the reason why we did whaling wasn't for the meat. No one cares about the meat. It's whale oil. They kill the whale, they extract the fat. The way these ships work is kind of crazy. These huge ships, these whaling ships, half of the ship is just a boiler. It's a big ass pot that just burns and they boil the meat. They just boil the meat to get the fat. The fat is whale oil. They want whale oil. It's not like they're killing them. They're not killing them to get meat to eat. It's just to make whale oil, to make fuel.
$1,000. Whale oil, trapped inside the largest animals to ever live. Nobody really knows how humans first got the idea of battling whales.
That's why
Probably
no
ancient-
one. That's also a big part of why everyone stopped. Because hello, why would we don't need the whale? We don't need the whale oil. We have actual oil. We have actual oil. So everyone just stopped because it wasn't worth it anymore. Except Norway and
Coastal people
Japan.
stumbled upon whales stranded ashore. To them, these titans were rare treasure chests overflowing with meat to eat and bones to craft into tools. Refusing to leave such fortune to chance, they paddled out and tried their luck. Towards the 8th century, whaling turns commercial. Along the Bay of Biscay, the Basques build stone watchtowers. The moment a dark shape breaks the surface, signal fires blaze and drums thunder across the coast. Men shove small boats into the waves, armed with hand-thrown harpoons.
we actually wouldn't need oil at all if the companies would not actually stop at others. Because no, the main reason that people wanted whale oil is because in their lanterns, right? When the lantern you had in your house to light up your house to give you light, it's burning some kind of fuel, right? Whale oil doesn't create soot. It's not like coal or wood where it creates tons of soot. It burns clean, right? And that was before any of the crude oil was ever found. So you had like 4 options for lighting in your house. It was like use wood, use coal, use charcoal, whatever, or use whale oil. That's it. That's literally it.
Their target is the North Atlantic right whale, an 18-meter and 90-ton gentle giant who's gloriously slow and prefers coastal waters. While most whales sink when they die, right whales stay afloat. The right whale to hunt. Their massive mouths contain hundreds of baleen plates, bristly sieves made from keratin. It's the plastic of its time, shape of...
Dude, it's crazy. We made one of the most abundant species ever into endangered in like 10 years just to get fuel from them. Like this is not a big period. That's why most people haven't heard about this. It's not a long period. It's literally like 50 years between crude oil and having lighting.
...into anything from baskets
That's
to
crazy.
corset stays and armor. The expensive meat makes up 1/3 of a whale's weight, while half of it is blubber, a thick, oily shield that hides the real
The
prize.
blubber is the
When
whale oil,
heated,
by the way.
the blubber can be rendered into precious whale oil. It's the Swiss Army knife of
Yep.
early industry. It lubricates machinery, waterproofs ships when mixed with tar, and helps make soap and paint. But most importantly, whale oil burns brighter and cleaner than anything else available at the time. The Basques turn whaling into a finely tuned enterprise. They improve equipment, perfect the art of processing whales, and flood Europe with whale products, while other nations watch with envy. By the 17th century, the English and Dutch launched their own whaling fleet.
Today is more for food, I think. It is. It is for food. But the problem is, the damage is already done, right? We already killed about 99% of the population of whales. That's the problem, right? Like, we're trying to safeguard the last 1%. Like, whales are critically endangered because of what happened 100 years ago. Because whales live 400 years. They live a long life, right? They don't just repopulate right away. The whales we killed 100 years ago are still playing a part in our life today.
They hire Basque consultants, and soon the secrets of whale hunting spread across European powers and into their colonies. Life in colonial New England is as harsh as its winters and stony soil. But in the Atlantic, enormous shadows glide along the coast as right whales follow their migratory routes. And the settlers know the old world pays handsomely for such treasures. Shore whaling becomes their first get-rich-quick scheme. A single good-sized whale earns each crew member as much as a land-based worker makes in 6 months. But it's unpredictable. Some years, a crew kills 100 whales. Other years drag on for months without a catch. Still, whaling becomes a valuable source of trade. Meanwhile, London is swelling into one of the world's great metropolises, and by the 1740s, 15,000 street lamps burn with colonial whale oil there. It takes half a whale per night to turn London's dark streets into a flickering sea of light. But just like the Basques had learned centuries earlier, the right whales near shore become scarcer with each passing year, just as demand is exploding. Around this time, a whaling boat is swept far offshore outside Nantucket. Hours drag on in uncertainty until finally the crew brings down a new kind of giant, the 18-meter, 45-ton sperm whale. In their heads, these leviathans carry nearly 2,000 liters of spermaceti, the highest quality oil on the planet. Milky gold, and so pure it burns without smoke. Sperm whales become the ultimate prize monsters. A single large sperm whale can yield oil worth around $200,000 today. That's a fortune in the 1850s and 2 to 3 times more valuable than right whale oil.
It's unfortunate too. Like, imagine that. 1 day's work, $200,000. Yeah, like, of course it can happen, right?
1 barrel can buy you almost 3 acres of farmland. Then again, outfitting a whaling expedition costs $30,000, 10 times more than an average farm. A third of voyages lose money, and some never return. But getting smashed by furious whales is what truly makes sailors' blood run cold. The planks groan as your shipmates strain at their oars, rowing straight towards the beast. The plan is simple and absolutely insane. Row close enough to touch this monster, hurl a harpoon into its flesh, and hope it doesn't take.
That's crazy. The plan is literally row at super close, and then throw harpoons in, and then just wait for it to die of bleeding. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, row up to it, throw your harpoons, and then wait 12 hours for it to just die of exertion. It's insane.
It personally. You recognize the creature from its scars, and it remembers you. The harpoon bites deep into blubber. The whale turns into pure, terrified rage. Your boat lurches forwards like you've been hitched to a steam engine, spray blinding you as you're dragged across the ocean in what whalers call a Nantucket sleigh ride. It goes on for an hour, then 4.
Disgusting.
Your knuckles are white, gripping the gunwale as waves crash over the bow. The men pray and curse. 8 hours into the hunt, your exhausted eyes lose focus.
8
The
hours!
ropes lash across the deck
Just
like that.
imagine that. Just imagine that. Imagine you have a stick in your back, which is like, were they killing you, by the way? Were they killing you for 8 hours while you tried to run away? You tried to run away. You tried to escape. There is a tag in your back that just like, okay, we're gonna kill you and harvest you, by the way. Insane.
Alive.
Insane.
Someone's leg gets caught
For
and
8
they're yanked
hours.
into the ocean,
8
swallowed
hours
by the
of
waves.
torture.
You hope it's quick. Sailors tell stories of other whales rushing in to defend their kin, dragging men down where lungs are crushed like tin cans. But you're still here, and the whale is finally slowing, exhausted from pulling your floating death trap across the ocean. Now comes the killing. You have to get close to stab this giant with a 3-meter lance, going for the massive lungs or heart. Blood starts flowing from the spout like a crimson geyser, but the whale is still fighting. 15 blows later, you find the mark. The whale starts swimming in tighter and tighter circles, vomiting half-digested squid until it finally rolls over in a spreading pool of gore. And you're barely getting started. You tow the enormous carcass back to the ship, where the crew slams down chains.
Yeah, it's some of the most disgusting It's so brutal. Like, you would, like we all think, like, oh, yeah, I'm eating a burger. Let's hope the cow was, like, euthanized very simply. These, when you're doing whaling, these whales are alive for 12, 14, 24 hours of the most brutal torture you could ever imagine, you know?
Secure their prize. The ship creaks
It's
as the dead
it's
giant
so
bobs
disgusting.
in the swells
It's so
beside you.
disgusting.
Now, the butchery can begin. It takes days to process 45 tons of dead whale into liquid money. You leap across the blood-slick blubber to axe through the thick flesh of the head. Within lies the spermaceti chamber, the vault of the most precious whale oil. Then you help peel away the blubber, 20 centimeters thick and tough as leather. You cut 2-meter wide blanket pieces, weighing a ton, and hold them up with pulleys that strain the ship's masts. Your ship lurches as you cut it free to release the weight.
They're literally skinning the whale. They're skinning the whale just to boil. They're boiling the skin because the skin has most of the fat. They're skinning this gigantic animal just to get some fat out.
Next comes the rendering. You fire up the tryworks, brick furnaces built right on the wooden deck. In massive iron pots, the blubber gets boiled down into oil. The
thing is, here's the pointless video. Like, okay, we have these whaling ships, and they're maybe doing 1 whale per week maximum, right? Like, they're doing 1 whale. It's a ton of work to do all this, like, you know, have a fire, have all this days a week. The thing is, it was industrialized. Suddenly, ships can do 5 whales a day. They can pick up and render 5 whales in 1 day. Every day. And that's when the real problem started.
smoke is so thick you can barely
He'll
breathe.
He'll probably talk about it soon.
They say you can smell a
see.
whaling ship from 30 kilometers away. Burning tar, rotting flesh, and the stink of death. The work continues around the clock. Sharks are drawn by the bloody waste you're dumping overboard. Men slip on the greasy decks and break bones, get crushed by swinging chunks of blubber, or scalded by boiling oil. It may be one of the most gruesome jobs in existence. The stench, the blood, the endless toil, it wears you down fast. Most who sign on quickly regret it. Nearly a third end up deserting. You are holding on to the dream of coming home rich, but the odds aren't great. When it's all over, the ship returns with dozens of barrels of the finest oil on Earth. By the 1850s, whaling has become the 5th biggest industry in the US, with 700 whaling ships, 3/4 of the world's fleet, employing 70,000 people.
Whaling was huge. Whaling was massive.
In 1853 alone, American whalers kill over 8,000 whales, making 360,000 barrels of oil and almost $500 million in today's dollars. Voyages grow longer and months turn into years as ships push into the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Each voyage demands bigger investments, and whaling turns into a venture capital industry. Crews work for shares instead of wages, while forced to buy overpriced supplies on credit. Many come home in debt, and a lucky few rise through the ranks. It's the American dream, they say, but it feels like an illusion. The real money flows upwards to ship owners and merchants. Fishing villages turn into global commercial hubs. In New England, the port of New Bedford rises as one of the richest towns in America. Whaling is unusually diverse for its time, but deeply exploitative. Much of the labor comes from Native Americans and black sailors. Native communities become dependent on English goods, while crews of color are pushed into the hardest and lowest paying work. This pattern of inequality still echoes today. The blood of whales helps fuel the rise of American industrial power, until in 1859, a breakthrough changes everything. Steam-powered rigs start commercially pumping petroleum. Suddenly, kerosene, lamp oil refined from...
Let's not forget, guys, whale oil didn't stop for no reason. Whale oil only stopped because normal oil from the ground took precedent. Like whale oil was what everyone wanted, and then abandoned oil from the ground takes that place. And then whale oil was useless.
Crude oil is cheap and seemingly limitless. Over the following decades, the whaling industry faces dramatic changes. Nantucket, once the heart of global whaling, sees its last ship limp home in 1870. The age of sail is ending. The age of engine has begun. And it's ushered in by blood. In the 18th and 19th centuries, 300,000 sperm whales alone were slaughtered. And they still can't catch a break. Although kerosene conquered lighting, whale oil is still one of the best lubricants on Earth. Never freezes, spoils, or quits. The machinery powering industrialization needs it, so ironically, petroleum soon increases demand for whale oil. Norwegians seize the opportunity with cheaper labor and new technology. They set up whaling stations on islands at the edge of Antarctica. Hand-thrown spears are gone, and now explosive-tipped harpoons fire from steam-powered catcher boats for instant kills. The fast ships can chase down even blue whales, the largest animals that ever lived. Normally, most dead whales sink, but now air compressors pump them full of gas, so even the biggest ones float like massive buoys. No whale is safe anymore. In the arms race leading up to World War I, whale oil is also used to produce explosives. But the true carnage comes after World War II, when Japan and the Soviet Union also joined the slaughter. They call it the Whaling Olympics.
Well, at least they're killing. No, that's just what the government are saying. They're not getting killed. The ones I promise you, all my life, 0 sharks are getting killed instantly. That's not act. That's not act that people are aiming for the head. They're just aiming. This is all propaganda.
Industrial might that once built tanks and bombers now builds factory ships. The largest one is 210 meters long, capable of processing dozens of whales in a day. In 1964, 82,000 whales are reported killed, the largest animal slaughter by tons in human history.
Yep.
The ocean couldn't sustain this mechanized assault.
Oh, they still can't.
From around 1.5 million to 800,000, and the even larger fin whales from almost 800,000 to 100,000. Blue whale populations, which had numbered around 340,000 before industrial whaling, collapsed by 98% to less than 5,000. It isn't until 1975 that the reality of industrial whaling hits the global spotlight. In the North Pacific, environmental activists steer tiny inflatable boats straight between Soviet whaling ships and their targets. The images of fragile human bodies standing in the path of steel harpoons spread like wildfire. Overnight, the public turns against the commercial slaughter. Across America and Europe, people support a new cause: save the whales. Finally, the International Whaling Commission votes for a global moratorium on commercial whaling. Only Norway, Iceland and Japan never signed the global ban that takes effect in 1986, basically ending 400 years of industrial whale hunting.
Norway,
It's a different
Iceland
world now,
and Japan.
and looking back, the story of whaling seems
Everyone
bloody
else
and barbaric.
banned
But it
it.
also lit homes, powered machines, and built the scaffolding of modernity. A staggering and also concerning display of what humanity is capable of. the power to reshape the world, with progress and destruction always side by side.
Well, that's what I said, right? I said Norway and Japan is cringe in this regard. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why. Norway's like, no, you know what? This rule all of the world agreed on is not accurate. It is probably lobbying, right? It's lobbying, right? Like the guy, there's probably one guy. There's probably that guy 100 years ago was like, I'm deleting 100 million, you know, which is some guy. It's sad. I hope it stops. And I think whaling should be illegal in our way. I think whaling should be legal everywhere, in Japan too. And yeah, you guys are the absolute best. Kiss, 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 kiss. I love you guys. Bye.